Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to another stream. I'm your SimCFI, and thanks for joining me on this Monday evening. Friday evening. I thought it was Monday. We're going to be taking this airplane from Seattle to Las Vegas, which I'll be vacationing actually in very shortly next week. We're in the MK Studios Seattle, which I've actually never flown from. And unfortunately, the only livery that is available to me at this time with this airplane is the Scandinavian that I can find. So we'll be Southwest, but it'll say Scandinavian on the airplane. But don't worry about that. Some things with this airplane, it's an early build that I have that a lot of content creators are showing, so it's not going to be what you're going to buy. If you have any questions on it, please ask. And the other thing is, I've flown this once and I did it on stream and it was kind of an interesting experience, so we're going to try this again and give it a run. So anyways, yeah, we'll see who's in chat here. We got Reed. Hey, welcome back to the stream as well, and Captain Gabriel as well. Welcome. Mysterious says hopefully it works this time. I do hope it works this time as well. You had me confused on what day it was. Yeah, I thought it was Monday, but it in fact is Friday. I've been off for a few days, so tomorrow I got to go to work at 7. Well, wake up at 5, 7 in the morning at the airport. But yeah, well, really appreciate you guys stopping in. Hopefully everything works well for you guys on the top there on the overlay. It might not know what the airplane is because the airplane is brand new. I just noticed that GSX for me is not really having a good time, maybe also because the airplane's brand new. So we'll just have to use the built-in tug feature, but it's no problem. Let's jump in the flight deck. This this airplane is completely cold and dark, as you can see. So first thing we're going to do is let's go to the iPad here, the EFB. Go to the ground ops. The chocks are already in. Wait for this to stop loading. I'll press GPU so that I'll start getting on board. And the next thing we're going to do is we can't board. I'm going to try one more time with GSX, but yeah, see, it doesn't. I've tried different parking spots and it didn't like it at all. But anyways, so we're just going to do it via the tug, no worries. And we're going to go also to SimBrief. We're going to load our Seattle to Las Vegas flight plan, which is all here. Hey, Michael, welcome. Play some gaming, welcome, hello. Everything is working so far right now, Lonnie. We're looking good. We'll see if that keeps up, but for now we're looking good. So if you guys don't know, this is the 737-500. So it's not the next gen version, but it's not the classic either. It has the newer engines, the more high bypass turbofan engines on it. I can show you guys. So it's not the ones that like scrape the bottom of the floor when they're going across, but it is that kind of signature 737 flattened bottom type engine. I don't know the name of it, but that's what they got going on. So yeah, we're going to go inside again and I'll show you one of my really cool features that I really like about this airplane, and the only one I've actually ever seen in a sim replicate this. Oh, I could be wrong, but when you open a door in real world, the flight deck door, it's pretty loose when it opens, and it will swing back closed if you don't lock it. Notice it's starting to swing back, which is pretty cool. They modeled that. So to not do that, you'll have to press the little stopper. So close the door, open it, press the stopper, and now the door is stopped. Which, it's a small touch. I just love that. The other thing that's cool about this is if you go back here, get rid of the stopper, close that. The bathroom does work. Toilet works. The flush works. The sink does not work. Toilet, oh, there's something I click. I don't know what that is, but anyways, that all works in there if you were so inclined. You can open the door from inside. It's pretty cool. And yeah, so the cabin is actually pretty decent. I'm actually quite impressed with the cabin. So let's go back in our office over there. We'll put the door lock in. And we'll sit back in our seat. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the battery power on. So let's set up our gauge for battery and on. So we got good voltage coming through the system now. We're going to go down here, sorry, back up here to ground power. And we're going to turn the ground power switch to on. My turn to ban Dominic. Yeah, where is he? I don't know. He's been doing some weird stuff today. GPS says Seattle to Salt Lake City with SAS. We're going Seattle to Las Vegas. But yeah, there's no Southwest livery. There's no other livery except for Scandinavian, so we're stuck with this one, unfortunately. Anyways, the ground power is on. We can go ahead and arm the emergency lights. Get the no smoking lights on as well. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and we'll go ahead and do our IRS alignment. So go to the left to align. You get the on DC light. Same with the right one. You get the on DC light. Wait till they turn to white aligns. Align. Both to nav. I do have it set to fast alignment. So I'm going to go in this FMC here, bring the brightness up. And we're at KSEA. Copy that. Actually, we'll not copy that. We're at Bravo 10. Hold the clear button. Should get rid of everything. There we go. Bravo 10. Copy this coordinate. We'll throw that in there. This airplane does not have a GNSS or GPS on board, so there's nothing on the next page, if you were wondering. Anyways, that'll get going. I'm just going to verify that it did send over to the other side as well. It did. You can see that it's on this side too. Next, we're going to get our screens all brightened up. So to control the bottom navigation display, you're going to set this thicker knob over here, and that'll get that one going. And we're going to set the left side as well, followed by the PFD brightness, which is down here, and that's going to bring up the top display. Do it on the other side. Now none of these have anything, no letters in them, so we're going to do this panel brightness. We'll bring this up, and that gets these all lit up. We'll bring our yoke down if I can. There we go. Same thing here. We're going to do our panel brightness, which will get all these starting to get a little brighter. And we'll clear the master caution. I have my IRS is set to fast align. To do that, you'll go to the iPad, aircraft options, configuration, software, override. No, where was it? There it is. First one. Fast IRS alignment. Just click that on, and it'll be fast. If you don't have it on, it'll be about a 7-minute or so alignment process. Okay, looking at the rest of the overhead panel. From top, bottom, left. I'm not going to do any of the tests or anything like that. I'm not typewriter 3.7. I have my own tests I got to worry about for rural stuff, so I'm not going to confuse myself. But we'll do generally what I would imagine goes on. I believe there is a check as well where they would check the valve for the cross bleed, and the light should turn off there like that, and then they'd put it back. Stuff like that. There we go. And it works. That's, we're going to skip all the kind of tests. I'm just going to get it fired up so we can fly it together for once. Speaking of that, let me set my controls back to this. Oh, there we go. I'll throw our window heat all on. And we got the forward entry door light. That's correct because we opened it. Whoop, zoomed in too much there. And we'll throw our recircs on. There's nothing really to power on with the ISO valve or the PAXA checks. The APU is off, and the APU bleed is off as well. Something that I missed in the last stream that I'll have to remember for this time is this ground to flight switch. I'll have to verify that this is in the flight mode. So just, if I even forget it, you guys are going to be my pilot monitoring today. Remember to tell me. So let's go to SimBrief. We're going to check how high we're cruising. We're going up to 350, which looks like it auto set, which is kind of cool. Looked like it grabbed it for us. Michael says, yeah, man, it's weird with Boeing and Airbus, not used to this. Gotta learn it. Time for some real world max ops. Yeah, I know. I don't know about that. You guys don't use chase plane? Wait when you move your camera. Oh yeah, this is all, I'm all using chase plane right now. That's how I get these cool views where it does this. That's all chase plane. Hit the PRV button to select your course, then once on approach, hit the VL button to get green needles. That's a Embraer thing, no? Wait, are we in the West Coast? We are. We're on the West Coast. Hey, CST. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. How's the performance today? That's better. I don't know what I did, but I'm going to take it. It's still lower than in my other airplanes, as you can see, but that might just be the stream, so we'll go with it. That's okay. Anyway, 35,000 feet is set there. We'll try. I'm going to check my landing elevation in Las Vegas. And it is 2,200. So let's scroll that thick part to 2 and this part to 200. And now that's all good. We'll throw our nav lights to just steady. And we're going to start configuring the FMS. Let me just reset my throttles there. Cool. Oh, not that one. We'll go to this one today. We're going to fly from the left seat. The reason I'm going to fly from the left today is because these screens update and are modeled better than the right screens currently in the beta version I have, or whatever version I have. So we've already done the ident. We'll go to the routes, and we're at KCEA, and we're going to KLAS, or flight number 1333. There's probably a way to activate or throw a sim brief flight plan in here. I'm just going to automatically type it. And I'm going to get the ATIS so we can see what runway we're using, but we're going to be departing off the Summer 2. Let's press previous page. Summer 2 via LKV. Bring this laggy thing over here. Import from SimBrief. And we're going to click Seattle, weather, ATIS, and they got running. Approaches, departing aircraft plan on brief numbers for both runway 16 left and 16 center. Okay. Well, there's no ATC online as of yet, so it'll be up to me. So let me quickly see where we are. We'll take 16 left. We'll just go all the way up. Basically, looks like whiskey then alpha. Or we can even do whiskey then bravo. So we'll plan 16 left. For that, we'll go to route. Hey, Sabu, hope you're doing well. I don't know if I pronounced your name properly. Shaq, rate the plane 1 to 10. I honestly don't have enough time to do that. I mean, from my experience that I've had so far in it, disregarding price, with my experience, I'd give like a 7.5. But I take that with a grain of salt, because I've done like some landings and a messed up flight. That was my fault. So the sounds need work. The performance on my end needs work. It could be me. It could be other people. I don't know. The system seems to be on point. The EFB, I don't like how you enter in data, and I'll show you that in a second. But I think a solid 7.5. Could get an 8 if it was a bit cheaper, I guess. You probably could even take an intersection if you wanted. Nah, I don't do that. I always take the runway as much as you can. You never know when you want it, right? Never know when you need it. We'll do RAN. RYANN. Oh, well, I messed that up. It's delete. RYANN. There we go. And go next page. And we're taking the J92 over to OAL. And then we're doing direct tequila. I imagine that's what they meant. ILA. Hope your Friday nights are going well. Thanks for spending your Friday night with me. Appreciate that. Doing the coder. I'm not up to date still. I forgot about that part. Oh well. No one sees, no one sues. We're going to leave the route or the approach blank for now, but we'll activate and execute that. Catch up with a bit of the comments here. CSC, no, this isn't reached. I'm back to NVIDIA filters. Hopefully it looks good. By the way, guys, if you don't know who CST Gaming is, you should by this point. But go check him out, and also go check out Flight Sim Gaming as well. Joe says, how does it navigate without GPS GNSS? It has IRS. These guys up here. So if you guys don't know what IRS is, it's on all the airplanes, but I think it's kind of a misunderstood kind of topic. But back then, before the IRS, there was an INS. And all it is these gyroscopes. There's 3 of them on airliners. There used to be, like Concorde and 74 and all that kind of stuff. And you'd have to tell the system with coordinates where you are. Once it was aligned to where you are, which you still have to do that with the IRS, but once it knows where you are, based on time and acceleration, it can predict where you are in space. Now, obviously, over time and turns and g-forces, that prediction starts to get a bit skewed. So what happens in these airliners before GPS is they would automatically tune VORs along their route. You'll notice if I go over here, our nav's going to be put in auto. So they'll automatically tune VORs along your route to automatically keep updating the INS, in this case not IRS, as best as possible. Then when the GPS got invented, the system's exactly the same, but the GPS will update the IRS now instead of the VORs doing it. So it's just a lot more accurate. That's a very quick little explanation, as much as I can do on it, but hope that helped you. Okay, so let's get our thing loaded up here. And we'll go ground ops. I'm going to close the door because we really don't need it open. And we're going to go instant load. A lot quieter now. That clicking of those standby instruments is going to bother me though. Our zero fuel weight is supposed to be 90,706. So this is our zero fuel weight here. And I'm just going to kind of add some cargo in there to get it closer to the actual number we're supposed to have. This is what I was talking about with the EFB. I kind of don't like this method. I kind of wish I could just edit the zero fuel weight and it would add whatever it needed accordingly. 90,700. So I'll just do a couple more poundage of baggage in there. Close enough. And then fuel wise it's supposed to be 17,530. It looks like it got that pretty close, so we're going to go ahead and press start because we had instant it's loaded complete, so we're all good on that. How does the plane... Oh, I read that one, sorry about that. No worries, Joe. I guess we can go ahead and uncage that while we're at it. All right, so our zero fuel weight is 90. Actually, it's 91, I believe I set it to in the actual EFB. And our cruise altitude today is going to be 37, I think, 35,000 feet. There's some of these random click spots that are a bit annoying, but that's okay. 35,000 feet. The reserve fuel is going to be 2.3, 2.4 actually, we'll round up, with a cost index of 31. I'll execute that. The cruise wind is a plus 14 knots. Traveling. Yeah, so my format of flight plans is a little differently, so I'm just going to kind of make this up and call it good. The IC deviation is 2 degrees in Celsius, so that's all good. We're going to the takeoff section. We're going to go to the EFB again. You can use the left one, but my view was set up originally for the right one. Performance. We're going to type in where we are, so we'll go backspace KSEA 37500. It's going to calculate some stuff and find the airport data. So 16, we're taking 16 left. There we go. Flap 5, anti-ice is off, bleeds will be on. MEL, there's no MELs. MEL stands for a minimum equipment list, so if something is broken on the airplane that may affect your takeoff. So for example, they have a reverser in-op. In the CRJ, some stuff we see is our weight penalties for flap seals and other kind of stuff, so we'd have an MEL applicable to our takeoff. Standby. All right, and then the engines won't let me change it on believe. There's just set to the 20K variant. Wind direction, this is another thing I don't like about this, so I wish I could just type it in, but the weather, it's at 220 at 7, so I'm gonna hold this. There's 220 and 7 knots. It's gonna be dry runway. The temperature is 17 degrees. Please, there we go. The other thing is this isn't QNH and millibars, and you can't change that for some reason, at least to my knowledge. So what I do is I'll just hit the B button, get my altimeter set to the correct altimeter setting, and then read it off from here. So it's still 1013. That doesn't confirm with the ADIS. The ADIS wants 30. Looks like it's not setting, so I'll do it manually. 3011. And 3011 gives me 1020, so I'll bring this up to 1020. Awesome. Now this is another thing, is I put everything in pounds, but for some reason it has it in kilograms, so let's go ground ops. Our gross weight is 100,008. Well, minus a bit of taxi fuel off of that. They have us burning in the taxi roughly 1,000 pounds. So on Google, I'm going to do 100,007. 446 pounds in kg. 48,736. So 48,7. It says actual takeoff weight, which is interesting. 48,7. That's pretty close. All right. So then it gives us a temperature of 48 for the flex temp, a V1, a VR, and a V2. So 128, 130, 136. 128, 130, 136 with a flex temp of 46, the outside air temperature of 17, and it deleted it. Awesome. Let's do it again. Probably my fault. 128, 130, and 136. Awesome, you get a pre-flight complete, so that's all done. Let's go ahead and start the APU at this point. So we're gonna turn our left forward pump, I believe it is. I'm sure you'll correct me if it isn't. And we're gonna press the on button there, and you'll get the EGT will spike with the low pressure light, and then we're gonna click and hold for 3 seconds in the start. 1, 2, 3, and we'll release. I'll give you a view outside. All right, the APU is up and running. Please, guys, if you can, click the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated if you can do that. So the FMS is all set up. The IPU is just finished coming online. We're going to get the APU off bus shortly. And then basically what we're going to do is these two switches are going to put the APU on the bus. On the bus means on the AC bus. So currently, the ground power is powering all of the aircraft systems. It's making alternating current AC powered, and it's sending that to where it needs to go. And then it also has a transformer rectifier unit to turn AC power into DC power and sending all the DC power where it needs to go. Once you click these switches, the APU is going to take over the ground power load. So APU and the second generator. Now the APU is the ground power is completely disconnected, systematically at least, or software wise or electronically, off of the airplane. So we'll go ahead and press the ground ops button. We'll go doors, we'll disconnect the GPU, and we'll disconnect the chocks, and the parking brake is still set. Alright, so that's been turned on. The other thing we can do with the APU is now that we have APU, we can have air coming from it. So the APU is an auxiliary power unit. It's a third jet engine, you can think of it as. It can supply electricity to the S-73, and it can also supply air for air conditioning and starting the engines. So to get the air from the APU, the first thing was turn the APU bleed on. So now we're bleeding the APU from air. We're going to open the isolation valve, which allows air to flow freely from the APU up to the left pack and then through the ISO valve into the right pack. For example, if I had this isolation valve closed and I turned on the right pack, notice the right pack goes to 0. There's no pressure. But if I open the isolation valve, it goes from the APU to the left pack through the isolation valve that we've opened, and it goes into the right pack, and now we have pressure. This isolates the valves. That's why it's called isolation valve. So it's all set up for you guys like that. Now, one thing I learned is if you turn on both packs at the same time, it's too much of a load, and you're going to see the gens will actually trip off. See that? And the gens just tripped. So we're going to turn the left pack off. We're going to wait for the APU generator to kind of come back online, and we're going to put the gens on. So if you ever have flying this airplane, it's not a bug. That's actually the way it's supposed to be in the 737-500. Keep this left pack, the left pack on, the right pack off. You could do either one, but I believe it was the left pack is what they use for air conditioning. So that's just a bit of an example. So it can only run one pack at one time with the APU. Awesome. Let me zoom out a little bit here. We're going to close this door. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Yeah, the frames aren't the greatest right now. I'm only getting 38s. It's been steadily declining. But we'll throw our hydraulic electric 1 and 2 pumps on. We'll wait for the probes. That's all been set. Let's go ahead and set our MCP. So we'll take our charts out here. And we're doing the sum of 2. Which calls for 16 left is heading 164 to Seattle. VOR radial 161 to Nevgo, then left turn 31 to Seattle radial 146 to Summa, assigned by ATC. We don't have ATC, so I'm just going to go right up to 35. Hey Enzo, hope you're doing well, my friend. Shaq says, damn, this thing has some systems to it with that modeled. Yeah. It's pretty good, guys. I'm telling you, it's a pretty good airplane. I don't have enough time in it, in the sim. But pay $5, give it a try. There's some things I don't like. Of course, that's like everything, but for the most part, pretty solid airplane. Performance for me is quite poor, but I imagine I'll be getting better. Our V2 is 136, so we're going to bug 36 plus 10 of 146. And our departure is 16 left, which means we have a heading of 164. We'll set that there. Another thing I don't like is how long these takes to scroll, but again, that is fixable. Dread says, must be something specific to the Classic. Never had a pack trip like that in the NG. No, yeah, it's not an NG issue. It's the 500 issue and 400 and 300. What am I doing? Oh yeah, 164. I'm just sitting here scrolling. 164. I'm going to turn the left flight director on, the right flight director on, and they are aware that that's in the wrong position. You should also technically get both courses set, but I'm not going to spend the time to do that because that's going to take too long. We're going to our LNAV on departure, and VNAV doesn't work for me. It might be me doing something wrong, so we're going to keep that off. And you can see we have LNAV armed there. We'll turn the auto thrust on, and the auto thrust is armed as well. Now, there's a click spot to set these speeds, and CST, if you're still here, you can help me out with where that is. There, I found it. Okay, this little screw, click the screw, and you'll get V1, rotate, and it should be 3 of them, V1, rotate, V2, but I guess they have V2 plus 10. There it is. And then it's probably the flat clean speed or something like that. I don't know what they would set. For our... We're going to leave our clock the way it is for now. So that's all pretty much good and set. This altimeter needs to be set as well. So 3011. I think there's a way to make all the altimeters match, which I'll probably do that later. But anyways, for the most part, we are ready to go. We got enough fuel, 86 in each side. We got all the baggage. The doors are all closed. We can throw all these pumps on. We can throw the anti-collision light on. Going to go downstairs here. The TCAS we'll put to just transponder. So we're just announcing our position to anybody. We don't actually have the TCAS turned on just yet. By the way, guys, the EFIS, if you're used to the NG of the 737, that EFIS panel, which is next to the autopilot panel, is down here now. So you got the left and right side for you guys. So I'm going to try GSX again. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, so it still doesn't recognize the airplane. So we use the built-in tug. And we'll go tug, call tug. Okay, it might not be visibly seen. Oh, it's still calling it. All right, we'll wait for that. We'll wait for him to do it. I'll give you guys a bit of a, well, I guess I've already talked about it, but pretty simple departure. It'll be runway heading, then a to Nevo, and then a left turn to 131 direct Summa. And we have no restrictions on route during in terms of altitude because there's no ATC. So it's basically just a straight shot and a left turn to Summa. That's basically it. I don't have any of the toga buttons or anything like that mapped because I'm in the middle of switching throttles and waiting for my CRJ ones to come in. So I'll have to manually click that button down there. Okay, tug's connected, we'll connect the tug. I don't know if this is on purpose a loading time because it takes a long time for them to do it, like software-wise, or they're just trying to simulate how long this would take, but I kind of wish it was just immediate. Let's get going. But I understand if it's some sort of loading of the software that has to do it. We'll get the CTAF up and running. And guys, this is MK Studios Seattle. So the first time I've ever actually flown out of their scenery here. So we'll take a look at it together. 19.9. Open this guy back up. Start push. I want to go... Okay, let's hit the parking brake off. And we'll start push. And I want to go backwards. There we go. Hear that little motor of the engines or the tug there? I don't know if it's actually connected or not. It's not. We're just moving. Okay, and we're gonna set up the airplane to start the engine. So the main thing we're gonna do is go over the air conditioning section. We're gonna turn off our left pack. We're gonna open the isolation valve. The APU bleed is on, so now we have air available to start our engines. And I should have actually thrown our seatbelt sign on as well. That's my fault. So now we're able to start the engines. And what we're gonna do is, just like any jet engine, we're gonna get it motoring. We're gonna get it some air running through the system, get all the fans turning, and some air starting to compress through the N2 stage. And once that N2 stage is at 25% compression, we're gonna add fuel, and then it mixes compressed air and fuel and ignites that mixture, and it creates an engine start. So let's go ahead and put our right starter to the ground position. You can see the N2 is rising. That's the high stage compressor fan stage. So it's starting to compress some air. And the APU is what's allowing this engine to start spinning. It's throwing air through the system and getting it to turn. So this is the N1. This big fan at the front's the N1. That will spin up later. Alright, you can see we're at 25. We're going to add fuel by clicking the fuel lever from shut off into the idle position. And you can see the engine ignites. So it's adding fuel to that compressed air, it ignites it, and it's like a big explosion basically. And it's just going to keep that cycle going over and over and over again. We got a starter cutout from that little click you heard. So the starter is not engaged anymore. The starter is cut off. So now the engine is self-sustaining. It's a good start on one. I wonder if there's a way to make this a bit quicker. Nope. Okay. I wonder if well, the parking brake is off and the chocks are off. But anyways, we're going to do the same thing for the left engine. Over to ground. And again, we're waiting for an N2 of 25%. I believe is what they use in the 3.7. The RJ is 20. It's different for each jet engine that you're using. They most likely have an EGT number associated with that as well. And the RJ is below 120 degrees. We're going to hit 25. We're going to add our fuel. And again, it's going to ignite. The sounds aren't the greatest. They do need some work. JBS says, so looking out the train window and see a relatively low-flying airliner where I don't usually see one. Turns out it's a Bermuda Air Embraer out of White Plains that is diverting to Stewart. Okay, interesting, interesting. Where are you taking a train to, if you don't want, if you don't mind sharing? So that's another con I'll put to this airplane is the sounds are quite poor. That does not sound that great, in my opinion. This pushback's taking forever, so I'm just going to stop push, disconnect, setting our parking brake. We're going to go ahead and hold both brakes, and then click the parking brake, just like the real life. That's how you would do it in real world as well. All right, let's do some... Oh, Shaq, you like it? Awesome. What's actually happening when you press it? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do. Well, now that the engines are online, there's a couple things you have to transfer from the APU onto the engine. So the first thing is we're going to transfer the APU currently is taking over the electrics. We're going to transfer that to the engine. So Gen 1 is left engine. Generator is now running the electrics from AC bus 1. And now AC bus 2 will be run by the right engine. The APU gen is off the bus, so we can turn off the APU. Don't need that anymore. Our engine start switches will throw to continuous, and the reason we're in continuous is it's continuously igniting the engines. And the 3.7, it's a usual thing, just because of the engine design. It doesn't happen in all engines. The CRJ doesn't need it, but in the 3.7, they're designed to take off the continuous ignition and land with it as well. So, for example, if you had a gust of wind or a bird strike or something that's happening to the engine, they're constantly igniting, and it's a better chance that engine will stay running rather than actually flame out. Next, we're going to go up here. We're going to throw both our probes on, our probe heats. Now we're going to re-energize the air into the, or we're going to reconfigure air conditioning panel so we can turn on our left pack. So left and right packs are now both set to, left and right packs are both set to auto. We do not need the isolation valve in the open position anymore. We can set it to auto as well, so it'll automatically transfer between. And now that the engines are running the air conditioning, we don't need the APU bleed anymore, and the APU is off anyway. So now the left engine's left pack and the right engine's right pack, and they can cross and talk to each other if they need to. So that's all been set up. Our yaw dampener can get thrown on as well. And that dampens yaw, which is kind of in the name. Go down here to the gear handle. We'll set RTO for the brakes, or auto brakes. And we're going to set our position for takeoff, which was flap 5. Oh, too much. And now you'll see that the flaps are traveling into the 5 position. Here's the slats at the beginning. Easy way to remember the engine normal parameters: idle 246. Yep, that's same in the CRJ as well, actually. Believe it or not. 246. They're not technically, it's not technically correct, as that's not an actual value. So don't say that on an exam. But you are correct. That is going to be the normal operating area. Oh, sorry guys, I messed with something I shouldn't have messed with here. Stand by. Alright. Oh, FPS is tanking. Come on, FPS, you can do it. Come back. I'm gonna turn. Yeah, the performance in this airplane for me while streaming is horrendous. Absolutely terrible. But that seems like it's just a me problem, so. Alright, well anyways, we'll try to continue if I'm able to here. Everything down below is pretty much set, and the flaps are 5 and set, as you can see. So we're good on that front as well. Yeah, the FPS has tanked. It's quite significantly tanked. Alright. turn off the parking brake. I don't know in the procedures when they're supposed to turn on that pressure, the cabin pressure, from ground to flight, but I'm going to try to remember to do it just prior to, or just on the lineup check. I'll throw it on there. Again, I don't know when they do it, but I think that's when I'm going to throw it on. I just realized my NVIDIA control panel settings have changed, so I'm just setting those up. Hopefully that can help our cause. The switch in question I'm talking about is right here. This ground to flight switch right there. All right, parking brake is off. We're gonna add a little bit of thrust. And we're gonna turn left. Wow, yeah, it's lagging like crazy. I'm gonna turn off the NVIDIA filters and see if that does anything. Remember to unload this default Seattle? No, I did not do that. I don't even know how to do that. But I've been having this problem. Pick an airport, and I've been having this problem in 24. It seems to be with this airplane while streaming, it does not like it. Like we're at 15 FPS, but it's not like my system being used in it at all. I'm at 30% GPU and 17% CPU. So the airplane or the computer's not, it's not using anything properly. It's not like there's a it's not like it's over temping or anything. My CPU's at 50%. There's just something in here that it really does not like. There we go. I kind of restored it with quick CPU there. We'll go with this for a bit. We're back up to the 40. And I'll wait to see where that 777 goes, and we'll continue. Again, my GPU's at 40%, 60%. It's kind of jumping a bit, and CPU's at 16%. So he's turning right. I'm going to hold for him right here. Good thing I waited. Oh, and I don't think I swapped it over. 19.9. There we go. Now we're on the CTAF frequency. I'll give you guys a quick little where we are, where we're going. And I'll bring that overlay back up for you. We are over here at the Bravo gates. And once this 777 passes, we're going to go straight on the Bravo and just take a right. And keep going. And keep going. And we'll be over there.
So traffic United 1252 heavy giving way, so they're crossing United from right to left, Seattle.
I'm just holding the brakes manually without a parking brake just so I don't have to click it. That's so strange, but BCPC, that's what I think, right? Did that guy just appear? I didn't even see him. Got two 777s Uniteds coming on in. And this guy's flight deck is past us, so I'll throw the taxi light back on. We're gonna off the wheel brakes and we're gonna add a little bit of thrust. I really want to get rid of that motoring clicking sound that's happening from those standby instruments. I really appreciate you guys jumping in as well today, so if you haven't already, please press the like button. All right, and we're gonna go about 25 knots in this straight. Seattle traffic, it's Southwest 1333, taxiing runway 16 left via Bravo. And ground speed is just at the bottom left corner here, so we're only at 15 knots. We're going to increase a little bit more. Gonna get going. You can see when I move my flight controls. A nice animation of those spoilers and everything. Let's get back on the line. We're going about 28, that's fine. 27. I just saw the Bermuda Air again on its final. Looks like they're down safe. Oh, that's good. Yeah, diverting usually sucks. No one's usually happy with a diversion, but you gotta do what's safe, right?
5 heavy is midfield, right downwind, runway 16 right. Yeah.
The airplane's pretty draggy on the ground. What I mean by that is I pull thrust to idle and it just immediately starts to slow down. I can't comment if that's real or not. I'll say in the RJ that's not real at all. Once you got it going, it'll stay going for the most part. It decelerates quite easily on the ground though. So everything is pretty much good to go. We'll go here for a second. Hopefully we're going the right way. I'm going to put that ground to flight switch now just so I don't forget it. And everything else on the overhead panel, although it looks quite confusing, is pretty much the same. These should be technically on, I think it's Gen 1 they put it to. That? I could be wrong. I've never experienced a diversion, but I've experienced one RTO and 2 missed approaches. I've never done a reject real world, but I was in the flight deck for a misapproach that led into a diversion. So I've done both of those, but the reject was probably well, I've done a reject obviously in smaller aircraft when I was instructing and stuff, but not an airline.
Alaska 929 is
RTO was in a DC-10 at Newark. Our ones were both the 787-10. That's crazy, DC-10. That's a little bump of the scenery there. That's pretty awesome that you got to fly in that airplane. It's pretty awesome that you made it out of that airplane as well. Get more on the center line here. You guys struggle with center line control as well, just look guys, mic is so loud. Last call, you got a lot of background in your mic there. I don't know if you know about that. If you ever need to hold the center line though, in most 37s, just kind of put the center line in between the wiper, or you can envision your right knee.
Seattle traffic, Delta 975 heavy is turning right base, setting up for a 10-mile final, runway 16 right, Seattle.
Joe says, I experienced a misapproach then diversion, CLE DCA, by diverted to ORF. Pull pop-up summer storm E145. Yeah, that's it's summer season. It's going to start happening soon. It's going to start happening. But it looks like, Shaq, all these bumps you're mentioning, the scenery underneath, I think there is a scenery underneath this. I'm having a lot of bumps, which usually MK doesn't have this many bumps in their sceneries. So you might have to show me how to get rid of the default one in there. Unless I just gotta dig through like community or something. So with the DC-10 number 2 engine overheated, there it is, on takeoff roll.
Traffic, Alaska 9.
Ended up swapping planes and then leveling, leaving in 5 hours late. That's crazy. Seattle traffic, Southwest 1333, landing runway 16 left, Seattle. Okay, let's go ahead and get our position strobe to, well, position and strobe. The TCAS can go all the way to the on position, the TARA, which stands for traffic resolution. So it'll report traffic to us, and it'll give us the resolution if that traffic is on a collision course. Throw our landing lights on. Runway turnoffs on. And we also have the switch already in the light mode. Senior, content manager, sure, Seattle, if anything else installed other than MK Studios. There's a senior underneath. Yeah, okay, so I'll have to do that later tonight. Alrighty, I think I still can't arm the VNAV, but we'll do that in the air. I believe that's actually by design, as it's a bit of an older VNAV system than these ones, than the newer ones are. So it's supposed to be, I believe, a 50% N1 spool, but I can't do that because I have to click this button. So we're going to click Toga. And I'll say set thrust. What happened here? What don't you like? Alright, we're just going to let it do it.
Seattle traffic, Alaska 929 is on a 12-mile final, 16 center.
Hope it doesn't reject. Might turn the auto brakes off. Probably something I did wrong, but flaps are they're set 5, but the green light's gone. We'll go V1 or rotate. Getting a lot of that left roll I had last time. We'll go gear up. Now the flaps went back to green, so I don't really understand that one. But again, probably my fault. Then we're following these flight directors on up. Go and press the VNAV button. Now we got N1 VNAV speed. We'll go ahead and engage Command A as we're flying from the left-hand side. Did I do the pressure? I did do the pressure. Flight. And we're in automatic. So I assume it should do it. Alright, we're going to go flaps to 2.
Sail traffic, Alaska 1042, taking off runway 16 left.
And we'll do the after takeoffs in a second here. I love these yoke animations, those look pretty cool. Go flaps to 1. We'll go ahead and expand our scale a little bit down here.
Seattle traffic, Delta 975 heavy, short final, runway 16 right.
And we'll go flaps to up. The day after we're going to LAX was I spotted LAX and saw no fewer than 2 heavies go around, including 380. Oh, that's pretty cool. 2 seniors are cooking the perf. Maybe. That might be it too. Yeah, possibly. Alright, so it's straight ahead to Navajo and then a left turn that has the intercept built in, which is kind of a weird one, but it's going to take us over to Sama. You can see our speed right there is bouncing. That's actually pretty cool. That's I can't tell if the 3.7 is realistic to that, but other instrumented airplanes that had a speedometer like that did shake like that, which is pretty cool. Alright, we're about to get in the soup here. Let's see if I can find where the temperature is in this thing. I imagine it's somewhere 8 degrees. So it's 8 degrees outside. It's below obviously 10. So if we enter any clouds, we're going to go ahead and throw our anti-icing on. After takeoff wise, we'll gear up and off. The RTO I threw on the runway just in case I didn't want it to reject on the runway due to a glitch or possibly my fault. I don't know when they turn these off, but we're not going to need them in terms of if I was in a CRJ right now, we wouldn't need them, so I threw them off. We'll throw our taxi lights off as well on our runway turnoffs. And it looks like we are pressurizing. The cabin is climbing currently. And the door is moving, so it is actively thinking about pressure. There's 10,000 feet. We'll go lights off. Oh, individually, that's fine. And here's a trivia for you guys. These ones are on off. These ones have a 3-parter to it. Why do you think that is there? Cool. Should be pretty good to go. This airplane, when it works, is gorgeous. I'm sure there's things I'm doing wrong, but the performance is interesting. Here's that little weird intercept thing it was doing. I'm just going to go direct to Sama. And we'll execute that just so to get rid of that, whatever it was going to do there. bit of an interesting LNAV system that it's doing right now. I kind of just want it to go direct. And it's kind of going everywhere other than direct. We're going to re-execute direct again. And give it a try there. Awesome. So I think I've pretty much got everything. Let's take a look at our pressure again. And we're about 1,600 feet or so. The cabin is climbing, which is good. And you can see the outflow valve is opening and closing.
Seattle traffic, Alaska 929 is clear for runway 16 center, crossing 16 left. Seattle.
Seattle traffic, Delta 975 heavy, crossing runway.
I've been lazy tonight because I'm going on vacation tomorrow. DFW, Denver, and then Honolulu. That's pretty sweet. I'm going to Vegas next week. I'm also going on vacation. JB says, so I flew the DC-10 with Continental many times, and additional twice with Northwest. Oh, you made it alive. You made it out of the Death Cruiser 10, so good for you. JBS travels in my last flight on Continental Airlines DC-10. I was all the way in the back of the plane, over the number 2 engine. Yeah, I guess under it. Hopefully not over it. That would have been an interesting experience. Probably pretty loud airplane as well. Have my fair share of MD-80s, 727s, 37200s, and some 34500s. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. The airplanes today, although they are very obviously safe and, you know, technology advanced, they're all very boring. Like, people ask me why I don't like the Airbus or the 220. It's not that I don't like them. I respect, for, you know, how, you know, arcadey they are. But they're just so boring. There's no character to them. This airplane has character to me. The fact that it's trying to kill you a little bit. What's that? I'm gonna see what that off light is. DDD. Throw it on. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Little camera. Turn that off. Flightsim says getting the full beta experience here. Yeah. I don't know. Might just be a mix of me flying it, to be honest with you, but we're flap 0, the gear is up, everything is looking okay. It looks like it's not going to be too bumpy, so we'll throw the actually I'm going to wait a little bit higher until we get above these clouds here, and we'll throw the seatbelts off, plus the mountain. Might be some mountain wave coming off those turbulence. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to call you Kyrie. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for commenting as well. Hope you're doing well. JBS says, even I had a Fokker 100 and a Dash 7. That's pretty cool. Dash 7 is a pretty sweet airplane, and a BA-146. It was loud as hell, yeah, probably. Just as I've never been on the 737-500 or 6 or 1, but I've been on the others. I've been on a 6 and an 8 and a Max. I've been on a 737-6, 8 Max, 320, 19, 21, triple, 87, RJ, Dash 8, Embraer, RJ 550. That's about it. A lot of the newer things. I haven't been on a 330 yet. But yeah, good little mix of stuff. I've never been on a sorry, I read that one. All those other older airplanes had so much character. The most you'll get these days, RJ or the 717. I agree. The 17 is probably the most character you'll get out of an airliner today. So I was gonna ask a question. Oh yeah, this outflow valve is a bit of trivia. What does this valve do? And also, if I go outside, I can show you where it is here. If I find it, they're always on here somewhere. Usually on the bottom right kind of side. It's probably that one, to be honest with you, right there. If you look at the MD-11, it has those massive holes where in front of the engine on the fuselage. That's the outflow valve for the MD-11. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it's this one right here. It's even labeled powered outflow valve. So what does this little thing do here? Question for you, little trivia. I see like 1, 2, 737s on flight radar usually. I've seen one at LaGuardia parked in a boneyard, and that's about it. I haven't seen any since. Oh yeah, Max 8, not 9. I've also been on RJ700. Yeah, I've been on RJ7 as well. Yeah, I've only been on a Max 8. I've not been on a 9. Anyways, let's see. We'll go to the progress page if they have one here. They do. Got 3 miles to Summer. There's an ETA. So Las Vegas, we're predicting in at 25:10. I didn't start a timer by accident. Is that even possible? 25:10 Zulu. It's supposed to say. I think that's a bug. It's supposed to say 01:10. There's no 25-hour clock. It's a 24-hour clock. Let me take a screenshot of that and I'll send it to them. I could be wrong. You guys correct me, but that does not make sense to me personally. So I'll send it to Alec real quick. I got 21 of you viewers in here. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for stopping in. Got 12 likes on the channel as well. If we can go ahead and get that up to, let's make a like goal of 20. Try to hit 20 today. It's wrong? Yeah, I agree that's wrong. So I sent them a screenshot with a little bit of description. And they can say either they want to fix it and it is a bug, or maybe that's just what 3.7 did back then. I don't know. Seems like a bug to me. Now I do know that Mickety Mike is also streaming, and Owls is right now as well, but Mickety Mike is streaming to Vegas, and I'm also going to Vegas, so we'll probably cross paths. Alright, so I'll give you guys the answer. That outflow valve, basically what it does, I haven't seen any comments, so I'll just answer it myself. If you think of a tin can with absolutely no holes, no seals, it's just a solid tin can, there's no escape for air. If you keep pressurizing it, it's just going to blow. So what this outflow valve does is it controls the amount of air coming into the airplane, into the tin can. So the air comes in from the front, exits to the rear, and that outflow valve will modulate automatically to maintain a constant pressure. So if they need to depressurize, it opens full open, and we would start depressurizing. The cabin would start to descend. Sorry, actually, the cabin would start to climb rapidly. My mistake. And then if you closed it all the way, if you sealed it up and made it a solid tin can with no way for the air to escape, the cabin would start to descend quite a lot, and you would pressurize very quickly. You'd have a very pressurized airplane, but obviously the metal fatigue, and it would not be able to keep flying for long. So that's a bit about what the outflow valve does, at the best I can explain it, at least. All the planes got them. You'll notice when you fly airliners, every airliner is the exact same thing, except they might put the switch in a different position. So if you go to a 3.7 to an Airbus, it has all the same stuff. It has PAX, it has an autopilot. There's usually they usually call them differently, but like in the Airbus, they got managed descent, 3.7's VNAV. They also got open descent or open climb, which is flight level change in the 3.7. It's speed mode in the CRJ. They all got the same kind of stuff. There's only one way to fly an airplane. I went out to catch it last year, and again this year. I live 2-3 kilometers from the threshold. I've runway 4, so I might as well. In my opinion, the single most beautiful plane was the 727 in American Airlines. The old one, that classic 727 with the metal. That looked the bare metal skin, or the polished chrome, whatever they want to call it. That one looked amazing. Did they have the classic 7.3s? Because if they did, eventually when we get a different model for this airplane, we could put that skin on here. That would look pretty awesome. Hey, Johan, welcome. I know you're not flying SAS domestic in the US. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm flying Southwest, but as you can see, we are in the SAS livery because there's nothing else. This is a weird, stubby-looking airplane. Let me check my V-Pilot, make sure I got no contact needs. Yes, there's absolutely nobody online. Hooked on Golf said, don't know if you saw my last message, but I've been watching your CRJ videos a lot. I'm in a cadet program for right now in instrument and should be flying the 700, 900. Hey, that's awesome. Hope you do well. Good luck on that. And when you're flying the 900, it's 34,000 for 35,000. When you're flying the 900, if you keep chatting as long as you go, come back when you're flying the 900 and let me know how that is to land. I always try to explain to people how weird the 900 is to fly and land, and so I always just bring people onto my team. I don't give them a preconceived notion of it does this, it does this. I want to see your opinion, and I'll see if I'm nuts or not. But most people have agreed with my statements. But and word of advice: the 900 sim does not fly like the 900 real world. The one you train on flies nothing like it. But good luck. Hope you do well. And instrument was a fun one. At least I had a good time in it. I know it's far out, but still interesting to watch. Hey, yeah, it's never too early to start looking at stuff. I mean, I was 12 years old and I was flying became the G737, learning about IRSs and all that kind of stuff. So the more you can get to know, as long as it's good practice and good training, the more you'll be set up. So we're just slowly leveling off at 35. The airplane is starting to get its yellow bucket. I don't really like how it's doing that. The engines are starting to... Alright. I'm going to just manually throw those up. Oh, it brought them back. We're going to turn that off, and we're going to manually bring those up. Because I don't like to be in the yellow. So I'll bring them back just a wee bit. We'll bring it back to climb thrust. I don't know if I did something wrong, but I assume it's not supposed to get that slow. Could be wrong, but that's my assumption. American had the 200, I think, but went full on MD-80 from the 727, went out of production, and there were 800s. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, hopefully, I think we're supposed to get a 200, right, with this guy, so that'd be pretty cool. Hook says, I'll let you know, like, 5 years. Yeah, well, I'll remember. I don't pronounce your name, but I'll call you Ant. How's it going? Not bad. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me on this Friday night. We're checking out the CSS 737, which is not Southwest livery because they don't have one, but the beta only allows you to fly Scandinavian. So we're in Scandinavian Airlines, but we're flying Southwest from Seattle to Vegas. I'll be actually vacationing in Vegas shortly. I'm just turning the auto throttle back on, thrust or speed mode maybe. Let's turn off ENAV. Well, it says FMC speed. Let's go in here and change it. Cruise. Let's do 275. Let's turn this off for the time being, so I don't want to work for that airspeed all over again. 275.8. There you go. Let's see if that does it. FMC speed. I think that's what it's going to maintain, possibly, and that has also moved. That little orange one there. Now I could go, I think, to I think I could press. No, I can't. I thought there was something I can intervene, but I guess that might be maybe an NG feature. Anyways, it looks like it's doing an okay job. The thrust should be increasing to maintain this, I hope. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Butterflies ERJ, so we will have completely different experiences. Yeah, which one? Like the 145 or the 175? If it's the 175, you can make fun of him and say you work harder than him. It looks like it's trying to maintain roughly 273-ish or so, so that's not bad. As long as it doesn't get close to that yellow again, I did not like that. Good watch on Break It Works. Struggling to crew some flights, but life goes on. 6 hours till home time. Oh, have fun with that. What do you do for work? Mike Xavier says, yo. Packer says, what are your plans in Vegas, if you don't mind sharing? We're going to be staying on Fremont Street because it was cheaper. And through my airline, I got a vacation package. Flights included. 5 nights for $700. And about 500 US or so. and we're just gonna, the first time for me, so I'm just gonna, me and my girlfriend go and stroll around and have fun looking at stuff, and that's it. Nothing crazy, really. Just a little tiny little vacation for 5 days. With this giant white line, it's hard to tell if we're actually on the course on the magenta line or not, which we are, because the next one's coming up, but it's kind of hard to tell. We're still FMC speed, VNAV path, LNAV command, so we're going well. 175, 195, yeah, you can make fun of him. As soon as you got in the RJ type rated, should be ask him what his go-around procedure is, and then compare your go-around procedure to his. His is something like toga button, flap 2, gear up, or something like that, and that's it. And then you can tell him yours, which will be go-around button, go-around thrust, flap 8, gear up, speed mode. By the way, autopilot's off, speed mode, heading mode, engage autopilot 600. White needles, what nav available, nav mode. So just compare your go-around procedures once you get on there, and you'll prove you work harder than he does. He says he makes fun of the CRJ guys, and my mentor makes fun of the ERJ guys because they're not real pilots. Yeah, it's always back and forth. That's how it goes. I'm probably biased, but from what I've seen, the RJ guys definitely work harder. Oh, you know what, guys? I've completely messed up through 18,000 feet here. I did not set it back to our 2992. I pressed the B button, but I forgot that in this airplane, the B button actually doesn't do anything. So we'll reset those to 2992. And I'm gonna go to the EFB and make them all synced. There we go. Let's go to the EFB and aircraft options. Weights panel, fuel application, EFB. I guess you can't. I swear it was in here somewhere. IRS, altimeters at once. Cool. Done. We're looking good. We're burning about, we're doing an extra fuel check at LKV, but we're burning about 2,000 per side, so 4,000 pounds an hour. We have, without drain that one, that's an hour. Yeah, so we got about 2 hours and a bit of fuel. And we're going to be there in an hour and a half or so. Let me see what they have planned for us here. The burn will be about 10,000 pounds. The fuel flow planned is 4,400. So we're actually under that currently. We're doing pretty good. I don't honestly know how they wanted us cruising at 7.74. They want us at 254.74, which is in here, and I'm not going in there. I might bring it down to 0.78, and that's about it. Just save a little bit of gas. So we're, let's do 265 slash 7, oh, 0.78. We'll press execute on that, and it should slow down, I assume, a little bit. I will be right back. There's no one to contact me, so I will be right back. I'll catch up with the comments, and I'll be right back. Crewing, but as I believe you call it, crew scheduling. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what we call it. Work on a day 1 to 3 basis, or because it's night shift days 1 to 4. That sucks. Yeah, that's a bug, and I have reported it already. So hopefully that gets fixed there. But yeah, I'll be just right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Yeah, photon speed brakes. I don't know what you mean by that. Why it has a 3-part, that is? What, the spoiler? Actually, I'm not even sure. Yeah, the animations need some work, but yeah, I'm not really sure, John. Couldn't tell you. We got another just under 2 hours to go. Or just actually over 2 hours. Forgot how far this place was. I mean, I thought I was watching live and was 30 minutes behind. You were talking about why the landing lights have a 3-way switch. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's because the landing lights are have an extension mode, so you can extend them and then you can turn the actual lights on. Go inside here. You can see that the middle position will extend, and then the furthest position will turn the actual light on. That's why they're there. I don't know how much those extending lights type stuff is a drag obviously to the airplane. I know the MD-80 it'll be about 50 knots with those lights, either extra or less depending if they're extended or not. Are you guys thinking of gonna buy this airplane, or are you guys gonna spend $5 to see if you like it, or are you gonna stay away from it altogether? Let's see if the weather radar works. Could be me, but oh no, there we go. Got weather turbulence there. I'm gonna say it probably just does not work. Try it for the first month and then go from there. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Limited is a big ones. I wonder how many modules take that into consideration and give us some extra speed breaks. By the way, the sound is off. It's silent. I can put it up a little bit for you. Sorry about that. There you go. Let me know if that's too loud or whatever. We got the right symbology, but it looks like nothing actually being displayed. Maybe the traffic has to be... Oh, you know what? I think the traffic has to be off, maybe. Let's turn that... Nope, I think I just wasn't at the right... Let's go minus 11. We should start painting stuff more closer to us. Doesn't really work like a weather radar that I'd expect it to work. Obviously, there's nothing out there, but I should be able to paint terrain with the weather radar. At the 5-mile scale, I'm going to point it straight down to 15. It looks like it only really works at one scale setting at 80. Looks like it only works at that range. That could be by design. It probably is. There's all the terrain. It probably works from 80 onwards. And then if I bring my tilt up, I should start to paint less of that. Let's go up to 4 degrees, let's say. I shouldn't be really painting anything with +4 as I'm looking in the sky right now. I'll go all the way up +15. I'm gonna go ahead and say this doesn't work as it should. It says +15 degrees. It's somehow still painting terrain. In the RJ land, as soon as you're past like 4 to 5, it's gonna be pointing up. But probably still work in progress. We'll put that back to off, and we'll leave it on terrain. That's cool. Cool little data map there. It's a bit annoying to look at, but I'm gonna turn that off as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, the systems are pretty sweet. I like them. I enjoy them. I know they have gotten a lot of heat for subscription model, but I am a fan. I would rather try something for a month and see how I like it. Overspending, if you don't know. Yeah, I 100% agree. I agree with the $5 subscription, and I agree with buying the airplane outright. The problem I have with the pricing they have gone with is, again, $5 for the month. 100% agree. Love the idea. $50 for the year. I think what they should personally do is change $50 for the year into $55 or $60 one-time fee for the 500, and then have a family all the variants for 120 or whatever they want to charge. To me, $5 for a month makes sense. Buying it outright makes sense. $50 for a year makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know why anybody would spend $50 on a plane that they got to give up in a year. I like, just spend $10, get it for 2 months if you want, sure. But by that time, you either know you want it or you don't want it, and I'm either going to buy it outright or not. So I think they should change that 50 for the year, make it $60 or $55 for the 737-500. Then when the 400 comes out, make it $55, whatever, for the 400, or maybe $30 if you have the 500 already, or some sort of discount, and then have a family price. That's what I personally would have done. I think that 50 for the year is quite pointless. I won't have access obviously to the sales numbers, but if you were to look, I would assume their 50 for the year would be the least purchased one. That's my opinion, though. Joey says, happy Friday. Hey, it is happy Friday. If you could choose to get typed on any aircraft for free and get hired at a big company, what would it be? United 76 gig seems pretty cool, but if it's any aircraft ever, it'd be the Concorde. But if it has to be flying today, probably United Triple, just because of the pay and the routes there were pretty cool. Even the Delta 350 would be a pretty sweet gig. If money isn't a factor, the 47-8 for like Atlas or the MD-11 for UPS would be pretty cool, or FedEx, that'd be pretty sweet too. So yeah, I don't know if I have a one answer, but that's what I would choose. I guess when this thing was flying, you could have this open. Let's go experiment a bit back there, see what we can do. So we can click that open. We're not going to. Oh, you know what? This is actually that's supposed to be closed. There we go. That little red switch controls the locking mechanism. I wonder what determines a good password. Maybe the door has to be closed. One, two, three, open. You can go to the bathroom. And you can go in here. I thought you can lock the door, but I guess you can't. You can open the lid though, and you can flush. You could, you like your choices. CRJ is pretty sweet too. Yeah, the CRJ is a lot of fun. Dolly, hey, welcome. Hello from Idaho. Hey, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Friday night. If you're brand new here, be sure to subscribe. We stream kind of sporadically, but when we stream, So must be nice flying IRL with high FPS all the time, no stutters. Yeah, I'm running like an 8090 Ti in real life. It works really well. Never stutters. No fatal errors. Anyways, let's get out of here. It looked like you can click something on here. Maybe you can. Look like oh, it's probably the cockpit door that I just clicked the switch in the cockpit. What do we switch here? Let's find the switch that I clicked. As long as these are still on nav, I'm kind of good with that. I guess we can go seatbelts auto. I don't know where seatbelts are. Is it seatbelts auto at the top? Oh, it's the middle. All right. I don't think I clicked anything, so that's good. We'll go back outside. My cousin flies 37500 and says the stall horn is really sensitive. They also have ongoing issues with the gate, the horn playing loudly into the cabin. Fun times. What horn? I don't know what horn that would be. Look at that. I just noticed that for the first time. Oh, what did I click? I just clicked the door open? Okay. I think that was the click spot for the door. See if anything here works. Nope. Nope. Seatbelt? Nope. These don't work either. Cool signs though. I've never heard of that horn, but I don't fly 37, so I'm an RJ guy. And back here we can click. Looks like no. Oh, at least got 2 lavs. This one flush. That one flushes too. Oh, that's cool. What happens if I do this? Interesting. Look at that, lights dim, off. I'm gonna set it to nighttime and see if these actually do anything. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome. Oh, look at the lighting in there. That looks amazing. I haven't seen this airplane at night yet. That looks really, really cool. Let's set it to dusk here almost. Let's get some of this lighting going on. A little bit of circuit breaker. We'll turn this down a little bit. Turn the flood a tiny bit up. Bring these down quite a bit. Bring that up a little bit. Bring these screens down. And our map a bit lower, and our PFD a little bit lower. Same on this side. Still ridiculously bright. Yeah, the night lighting is amazing in this. This looks amazing. Oops. Oops. Clicked stuff. The dome light, I believe, is somewhere up there, right? There we go. There's the dome. A little too yellowy, but I guess back in the day that might have been the color. Been on the older models? Yeah, I've never even seen, heard, or worked with one, but I'm on an RJ. That's pretty cool, though. I don't know if it still operates 500, but that's a pretty sweet gig. Johnson said, I flew the SAS 37500 once a week when I was in the Army back in 2004. Good times. Yeah, these guys are probably all but retired now. Hey, D1. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for stopping in on a Friday. We're just checking to look at all the night lighting in the 37 Classic. It looks pretty awesome. And I don't know if you know, but you can actually flush the toilets, which is always what we want to see. So I'm just experimenting with some stuff. But yeah, that night lighting looks really, really good. But yeah, I think this airplane, with a little bit more polishing, can be one of the go-to airplanes for somebody. If they like the 37 family and they like this kind of older school type of airplane, it's a good mix. I think a lot of people are hating on this a little too much. I think it's awesome. There's some bugs I had that were self-induced bugs that I caused because I didn't know how to use it. But and then there's some other stuff with the performance is a bit hard right now, and some other little tiny ones here and there, and just some dislikes with the sound and EFB features. But for the most part, I say pay the $5 for the month, see if you like it, and if you agree with it, give it a chance. But if you do about 2 to 3 flights with it, I think it'll tug on your heartstrings and you'll buy it. And it says, love how you control the lighting in the cabin, but can you do the actual full cabin lighting, not just the galley work lights? I assume it'll be on the ASP, the front galley. I can give it a look for you. Certainly can try. Coffee maker. That's not it. Let's get rid of the door stopper and we'll close the door. I love that that's modeled. This I can't touch anything with. Oh wait, is that inside the flight deck it's touching, or this? That might be this. But I can't click anything on that. And I don't know where the other light panel would be. Yeah, the SAS is all Airbus now. No more Boeing's CRJs, but there's CityLink, another company that merged with SAS. Yeah, that livery actually on that RJ looks awesome. That SAS CityLink livery looks really, really good. Both Chapter 11 bankruptcy, hopefully they hold on. Yeah. That's nice. That's a cool little view. Let's get Chase plane out here. Start making some views for our landing. Can't type. Oh, that was already 5. Let's set this to 6. Anything here? Click? No. Call the FA? Even have the option for it? I don't think so. That was sick. How those other things are modeled. Yeah, really cool. And it says true bottom right looking instead of door 1 left or above the forward galley. Maybe it's not added as the panel doesn't work above the crew seats in the forward galley. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's not added, but I'll bring it over here. We can take a look again. Here's door 1L. Oh, you know what? It might be right here. There you go. Entry lights, that works. Window, ceiling. Ah, yeah, look at that. That's awesome. That works too. Let's go to a little bit on music. Throw that up. Why not? Can't click it, but it says attendant there. Reset, captain. I don't hear any music. These are all the lights set to on, basically. Oop. There we go. These are all the lights set to on. It's cool you could do it. Not the greatest of lighting, but it's cool that you can select it. You can see it doesn't actually light up anything. It kind of just lights up the light and nothing around it. So we'll turn this back to night. We'll leave it on dim. Leave this on dim. Work off. Dim. Music I had thrown up. I wonder if we can turn this up now. Volume. No, I don't hear any music. Can't wait for Chase Plane in 24. The one thing I want, yeah, I really want Chase Plane in 2024 as well. I really miss that add-on. I didn't think I would care for it, but I love it. Let's make another view here. Call this left engine. Doesn't really matter what it's named. And we're going to view shortcut number 7. Save. Go back all the way down here. We need a right over wing. Whatever, set that up. This will be number 7. Oh, it can't be 7 because that's also my flyby view. This is number 7. Pretty cool stuff. We'll go back to live time. And we'll bring all these brightnesses back up to where they need to be. Cool. Definitely some texture issues like the EPIS and comp flies. But great if it works. Thanks for doing that. Such a funny positioning for the lighting. Just the question, I assume there might be a panel like that by door to left. I don't... Yeah, if it's all the way in the back you're talking about, there is one at the aft galley we've already took a look at. It does the it does some of the back stuff as well. There was one back in the aft galley as well. Didn't do too much. The front one did more. But it's still pretty cool that that's modeled. Really appreciate you guys stopping in. If you can hit the like button, please. And if you're just passing on by, then say hi, and we'll maybe see you later on if you come back. I'm going to give myself a direct, just to save some time. We'll just go direct to Tequila. Why not? Execute it. Save some time. LNAV is still armed. It's going to turn left. Nice flight director modeling. I really like that. That looks really good. And we're going to still have... That's weird. It's it just went into... So earlier it was showing 25 Zulu, which makes no sense. And now it's showing 115 Zulu. Which is correct. So... yeah, another hour and 15 minutes. It seems like this airplane likes to overturn its directs a little bit. I don't know why it's going full chop and drop. We're going to go auto thrust off and add the fuel back in, or the thrust back in. I do not want to get in that yellow line there. Reset MCP alt. No. Cruise. Let's do 265/.78. Oh, reset MCP alt. What I set it to? 35,000. That's what I want. Keep that. Reset MCP alt. That's gonna get annoying quick. Execute that. I'm gonna try auto thrust again. FMC speed. Let's see what it does. It's kind of just going left and right and left and right and left and right, so let's throw it on heading mode for a bit. Let's see how slow it wants to get me here. Looks like it's slowly, constantly getting slower and slower, which I don't want it to do. I'm going to click vertical speed to kick it off VNAV. We're going to bring this up manually. I'm going to press Alt Hold. So it's in speed mode. It should start going up in thrust, but it's not doing that. So we're going to throw the thrust up manually again. And if I need to, I'm going to nose down. But I've seen other streamers encounter this bug as well. I believe this is a bug. I could be wrong. But this one does look like it is a bug. Even in speed mode, I want speed 7.78. Auto thrust speed. And the thrust comes all the way back, even with MCP in there. Add the thrust in. Nope, goes to idle. Alright, we'll throw that off again. So we're going to keep it manual for a bit. It's okay, I'm used to manual jets, fly the RJ for a living. I think we'll manage just fine. Let's get that thrust up there. I don't know why this says MCP, or reset MCP altitude. I think because it says 34.9. Let's put an approach in here. And let's go back to direct tequila. LNAV. We'll let that figure itself out. And I'm just going to plug an arrival in there just to get it to maybe think about some other stuff. KLAS. Weather. ATIS. Landing 26 left, 19 right, departing 26 right. We'll plan 26 left. So I'm just going to put in its brain really quickly. Colt 3 via tequila. 26. I guess I don't want the Yankee race. Let's see which one I want. Check our speed really quickly. We're a little bit of lag there. Thrust back a tiny on bit. Alrighty. Charts. Approach. 26 right. Or is it left? I already forgot. 26 left. 26 left Zulu. Yeah, we'll do that one. So 26 left Zulu. We'll execute that just to maybe have its brain think a bit farther ahead. We're going to put tequila over tequila. Reset MCP altitude. This is going to get old. Execute that. We're an LNAV out hold. We're going to thrust back manually a little bit. And I'm going to try... Has 350-294. Let's attempt to click VNAV. That's staying still. VNAV path. Oh yeah, auto throttle on. Okay, doesn't like that. Speed. Alt hold. 7.8. Or 0.78. Auto thrust. VNAV. So it should target this. So I'm expecting those thrust receivers to come back up eventually. If it passes under the purple, I'm going manual again. Alright, bring those up. Something's not going well. This could be my fault, which most likely is. But even in the regular speed mode, it doesn't work. Speed. Oh, auto thrust. Auto thrust. See, I'm saying go faster. The bug goes up, MCP speed, the thrust goes to idle. Let's try flight level change. Then I can't because I'm at a lower altitude. Yeah, alright, we'll throw that off. We'll just do it manual. Put it back in VNAV mode. We'll have VNAV path, but manual thrust. So, what's the difference between Z and Y ILS? I can tell you that. So anytime they have a precision approach, they will always... Sorry, anytime there's multiple precision approaches to the same runway, they're going to start lettering them from backwards of the alphabet. So there's more, this tells me there's more ILSs on 26 left. So this one's the Zulu chart. If I click KLAS, I'm going to go to the ILS Yankee 26 left. We're going to see the difference. Okay, so here's the difference. They got different transitions. So the frequency and the MDA are most likely to be the same. You can see it's 2269. Which is 200 feet above ground. But if you do a transition of bourbon, this will bring it all the way around. Whereas the Yankee or the Zulu chart is just from a straight out from Preno. And the MDA is the same. So you have to go to the charts and see the differences between them yourself. But that's how they letter them. If it's precision approach, they'll letter them from backwards forward. And if it's a non-precision approach, multiple non-precision approaches to one runway, they'll letter them all the way up to the alphabet. What I am going to do is I'm going to press 26 left Zulu again, and via Preno, I'll get it all the way out just in case they need me to use or go a little bit farther. So we're just going to manually hold the thrust here. It looks like this thrust setting is working quite okay. I'm going to thrust down just a wee bit to get a bit more fuel burn out of these engines. I know I'm not the only one that has countered this auto thrust problem. I believe there's been others. But yeah. I'll set 0.78, so I'll slow a bit more. What is the airplane doing? Let's go heading mode. Back to the left. It was supposed to go present position to Tequila, I had thought. Oh no, you know what? That was possibly my fault. The line is still pointing there, but let's try that again. Colt 3, Tequila, ILS 6 left, 26 left, via Prino. Execute. Legs. Tequila up here. Execute. That probably was my fault. And we're going to get it back on LNAV in a second. Go LNAV. A little bit of thrust. Hey, Isaac, hope you're doing well. We're a bit of an auto throttle issue in the airplane right now. Possibly my fault, possibly the airplane's fault. I'm leaning towards airplane in this one. But we can show you if you'd like to see it. We're in Alt hold, LNAV, going towards Tequila. Auto thrust on. Actually won't even work. Alt hold, auto thrust on. Speed 0.8 that I've dialed in manually, and the thrust, there's 0.8, and the thrust is just dialing on all the way back. If I press VNAV, it says FMC speed, so it should know where it wants to go, and it's going to get you killed. So currently I'm not trusting this auto thrust system. We're going to manually add that thrust all the way back in and get back to 0.78. But that's what's happening currently. Not a fun time, although I'm used to no auto thrust anyways, so we'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt Hold, and I'm going to dial this up to 0.78. Just as a reference for myself. And we're going to back off the thrust a little bit to maintain the speed. Seems like both this and the RJ have the same fuel flow settings around the same. It'll hold the speed for around 1900 pounds an hour. I agree, looks like a bug as well, Isaac. I'm not jumped to quick to I don't like to jump to those conclusions, but I mean, speed mode 0.78, thrust goes idle. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong with that one. CRJ probably don't need no auto throttle. Yeah, whatever. Could do it better than I can anyways. Quite a lot of wind. We got 57 knots from the right side there. And we're doing well. This thrust setting looks like it's working quite well. Maybe a tiniest a bit reduction. And we'll be good to go. I'm gonna quickly go to the bathroom and I will be back. I'll leave you. Let me quickly go check the speeds here, and then I'm gonna go. There's no one controlling us, so I'm free to leave. Oh, of course, Seattle Center went online now, and I'm gone. Bouncing in between the ones and zeros, we should be fine. I'll leave you guys on this view, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I wonder if anything broke in here. Altitude alert. Something broke in here. Let's go VNav. We'll go back up to 35,000. It should have been an altitude hold, so I don't know why it was not holding, but now it's descending, so we'll go vertical speed. We'll bring it up. Oh my gosh. So we got 35,000 feet. It was an altitude hold, so I don't know why it was drifting low. Then VNav speed continued to drift, descend faster, but whatever. How long does it take to do the bathroom break? Oh, I'm not in the bathroom. I was just chilling with my girlfriend in the other room. When you got to, you gotta go. Yeah, exactly, Micah. We're also encountering another problem where the auto thrust has bugged out on us. We got altitude acquire. It's going to level out at 35,000 feet. And I'll show you this by selecting the speed I would like, which is 0.78. You can see that by the purple line right there. And we'll throw the auto thrust on, which, there we go. It's in speed mode. MCP speed, so it's taking the speed from this, and the thrust goes straight to idle. That's one bug we're having as well. So it seems like autopilot for most streamers that have this airplane has been quite unreliable. We've been manual thrust for the last 30 minutes or so. But, yeah, we'll deal with it. So we're alt acquire to 35,000. It should hold it this time, I assume. That's the plan. And we'll bring our thrust back to maintain. There's alt hold. And we'll bring these back to about 1,800 pounds per hour or so, and that was holding our speed quite well. The top of descent is coming on up. There's no VATSIM ATC, so we're just going to throw the lowest that's on here and call it a day. They want us at 4,800 or so. So we'll hold shift, maybe it'll go quicker. Doesn't look like it is. And we'll start getting set up for the ILS as well. Scroll. I'll just set in 5,000. That's a nice round number, not 48. All right, 5,000 foot set. I'll click VNav. VNav path. All right, so far so good. It's not randomly descending. Oh, it is kind of descending a little bit, but little bump. That's fine. We're gonna manually control the speed as well. It seems like I have to do that today. Anyways, let's set the rest of this stuff up. So let's get this chart out here. We got the weather. We got our. Let's do our landing performance next. Landing. We're going to KLAS. And it's going to be 2.6 left. The speed's, I feel like I'm flying an RJ now. Speed's looking good. 2.6 left is what's planned. Anti-ice will be off. The bleeds are on. No MEL. The wind direction is 210, 18 gusting 24. This is going to be awful because this airplane in a crosswind with for some reason, earlier during testing, this airplane on me just rolls randomly to the left, which feels very unrealistic, but that's fine. It's dry. Temperature's 36. Very hot. Very, very, very hot. So we'll set 36 in here. maybe. There we go. Altimeters is... got it in millibars only, so 2972. We'll set it up on here. Or not. Did I have a complete freeze? No, this one works. Oh, they're auto. They're all synced. Alright, well. I'm just gonna leave it. I'll just guess. Like 1008 or something. Something like that. And that's max landing weight, elevation. It should start giving me something. Oh, flaps 30 for landing. I guess that's all it gives us. I would assume it'd give us something else, like a runway length used and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't seem to. So that's all done, we'll say. And we'll set up the IRS or the ILS frequencies. So we'll go manual, manual. And it's going to be 1115. Set up both left and right side. There's no HCP. We've already set up the FMS for it. So we're looking pretty good. I actually set 8,000 in here initially, and then we'll set lower later on. And it looks like we've already started our descent into VNAV on VNAV. So we're going to bring our thrust back. I'm going to attempt to click the auto thrust back on with the VNAV and see what it does. So we've got FMC speed, VNAV path. I'm going to click VNAV, arm VNAV speed. Let's see what it does. I'm curious. Thanks for joining me on a Friday night, guys. If you're brand new, please press the like button and subscribe as well. It looks like now that it's on top of descent, the auto thrust is kind of woken up a bit. So we're maintaining with pitch alone right now, 260 or so, which is what it's commanding. FMC speed, VNAV path. So it looks like it's working quite well. It wasn't working in cruise, but it does look like it's working now. And unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have any ATC in tonight. Now it's starting to slip off its airspeed. So and I manually brought thrust up, and it doesn't want that. So we'll leave that off. We'll leave it on VNAV path, and I'll have to do manual thrust the entire flight. That's fine. I'm used to that. Our cabin is looks like ever so slightly descending. And you can see we're just slightly low on the VNAV path. Quite the crab going on. If you guys are just jumping in as well, this airplane is a beta, so don't expect anything amazing. We have an early version that's been given to us, so there's going to be a lot of bugs, and we've encountered a few already. We will set our auto brakes to 2. I don't know, I'll go 3. And everything else should be pretty much ready to go. My ISP is having issues. Bummer. What's your ISP? Like the airport? Open the thrust. I'm going to attempt to throw the auto thrust back online. Actually, you know what? We're going to do a full reset of our flight director. We'll throw the autopilot off. That trim is insanely crazily loud. Turn our flight directors off. Throw them back on. I'll pitch down a little bit here. LNAV, VNAV, auto thrust on, auto thrust on, VNAV speed, and we'll engage Command A. Well, the thrust didn't go to idle this time, so that's looking like it's working well. Getting 1/5 of my upload speed, and my ping is over 500 ms. Oh, internet service provider, that's awful. Yeah, that's really bad. Sometimes, I'm sure you already did it, but sometimes if you just go unplug your modem for a good 40 seconds and replug it in. Got this airplane to go. There we go. Hey. Now it's thinking about stuff. It's gonna get back on that profile. Hey, Fires. Hopefully everything's going well for you. We're testing the brand new CSS 737 with minor bugs / might be my fault, but I think they're bugs. Interesting how those just started to light up. Have you been playing a lot of DCS recently, or not really? Okay, and you can see that the VNAV is still in FMC speed, VNAV path, and it's just gonna stall you out. So you got to be careful when using this VNAV. The auto thrust just does not seem to want to do anything. So we're gonna manually bring it up. I'm gonna fly like a CRJ, and that's what I'm gonna do with it. I think you should read the manual a little. Yeah, no. That's there's nothing for the manual. It's pretty simple stuff. You can click auto thrust arm, and you can even go into vertical speed. And if I'm selecting a speed that I want, for example 0.62, whatever, let's say 0.64, that's the speed I want. I click speed, it says FMC speed, thrust reduces to idle, and it never will come back. If that's not a bug, I would love to see how to make that work, but I think that's a bug. So we're just gonna manually do it. We'll press VNAV again, and FMC speed has been selected. We're gonna throw the speed on up as it's commanding 280. We're super high on the path. I'm gonna click VNAV again, and sometimes now it's climbing. So, yep, CRJ time. Vertical speed. Let's go negative about 2,000, and we'll catch it up. I'll start with 1,800 or so. Game lags like meh further when I load in DCS 2.0 on initial ran like a dream. I'm going to throw the thrust on back. Sorry. Came rolling about, it just started to not like me. I don't know. Might try installing the Strike Eagle. Well, Raspbian airplanes suck, so I'd start doing that. But I just hate Raspbian. I'm a Raspbian hater. But I'd start with that. I would start with uninstalling the Raspbian airplanes. All right, we're gonna get back on that profile sooner or later. Oh my gosh, this zoom. We still have no ATC in Vegas, unfortunately, but we're gonna set our MDA. That's the next trick we're gonna figure out how to do. Because you can see it right there as DH200, but I want it, it's probably maybe this guy? Could be wrong. Probably am wrong. I'll figure it out shortly though. But you can set an altitude bug there if you wanted it to, an actual physical bug, which is kind of cool. where would I put an MDA setting? Check our speed real quick. We're looking good. This is all auto thrust off. We're slowly getting back on the profile, which is good. AC5, the other day my PC was freezing a bit, so I downloaded a new update for the new NVIDIA driver, and now everything is a little blurry, and I can't load in plain MSFS. You have to know to fix. You can't load in an airplane, or the sim won't load at all. If the sim doesn't load into the main menu, delete the NVIDIA update, or the app, and then try running the sim. I had that issue before. Another thing you can try is cleaning the NVIDIA cache. You can use either Easy Game utility or just go to the folders. You can navigate to the folders yourself with, it'll show you where to get there online. And clean the cache yourself. But yeah, I'm definitely not the only one to have any bugs in this thing. It's not bug free, that's for sure, but it's pretty good for a first. If they're going to keep it in beta and make a couple fixes to it, there's still some stuff that does need to be changed. For me, the experience that I've had is the VNAV and the auto thrust. Auto thrust being the main issue. So we're getting back on the VNAV path now. I'll click VNAVs. It says VNAV speed. That's fine. VNAV path. That's what I want it to hold. So it should start adjusting its descent. And I've commanded 8,000 feet. I can't load into a plane, and it crashes and says there's a problem with my driver. I can't go back to the previous NVIDIA driver. That's interesting. James says ADI DHREF or on pedestal. Take a look at that in 1 second. For that, that's a weird issue you're getting there. What graphics card do you have? I'll start with that one. Oh, there, yeah, ADRF, yeah, thanks. This is DHREF, which is decision height. That's based off of radar altimeter, and I would like a MDA, which maybe back in these days they didn't care about the difference. So I'll leave it on 200. That's where it'll be 200 above ground, but they probably would just have set their minimums in here. Should be about there. You got a 3070. It should be working for you. It looks like the VNAV path has kind of worked as well. I'll bring my thrust back a bit. It should be working for you. What you can try, what I would try doing is, if you haven't already, go to the NVIDIA app and reinstall the driver and make sure you select custom installation, clean install. Try that, see if it works. If that doesn't work, then I would uninstall the driver completely. And there's a way to do that. Just look up NVIDIA how to uninstall driver and then reinstall it cleanly. So try a custom clean installation first. Going to be through the transition here shortly. It's altimeter of 29072, so we'll set that up here. 2972. And again, guys, I'm having to use manual thrust as the auto thrust is just not working for me. I have seen other people encounter the same issue. It just seems like it's a problem with the airplane at this point. And if you'd like me to show you what it is, we're in VNAV. I'll select auto thrust armed, and we'll get arm VNAV speed, which is what it's supposed to be doing. And we're in the right setting right there at the right airspeed. And what you're going to notice is the throttle basically will never move ever again. That was just me moving it. So we'll see if it moves. If it moves, it's, you know, it works on, but the FMA makes sense. FMC speed, LNAV command. That all makes sense. But it doesn't seem to actually do anything. 19.9 is so happens to be Las Vegas's CTAF as well, which is kind of interesting because that was Seattle CTAF. Oh, it has different modes, eh? If it's like click and hold. We got arm, click and hold. Arm goes away, click and hold. I don't know if that's actually doing anything or it's just coincidentally things are happening. I think it's just coincidentally things are happening. So now the airplane wants to slow to 240, which is doing. It's still an idle thrust, which is fine. That makes sense. But anytime this airplane will have to eventually level off or shallow descent and need a higher speed, I'm expecting this airplane to add thrust, as the auto throttle is armed and it's in VNAV speed. And it's actually shooting underneath the profile currently. Getting some bumps here with the mountains. We're going to throw the seat belts on. Throw the terrain mode on as well for the radar, or the database, I should say. It's not really a radar. All right, let's go check up on our thrust situation. And here's the problem right here. Vertical speed is shallowed out. FMC speed, so it knows what mode it's supposed to be in. VNAV path, it knows all that. We got command. Auto throttle's armed. And the thrust stays idle. Let's click VNAV again. Nothing happens. This is the problem I'm having. So I'm going to disengage the auto thrust. We're going to leave it off for the entire duration of this flight as I don't trust it. And we will just manually fly this in. It's a good thing we fly the CRJ. Thrust back a bit for... Actually, we're above 12,000. We could be faster than 250, but we'll stay roughly 250. I know that looks quite interesting. But we're basically going to come out over here to preno and then turn in final. Probably going to self-vector myself, to be honest with you. And the reason it's saying here is because decon on the chart is above 12,000, so it knows that, which is pretty cool. So I assume, and there we go, passing decon, it's going to start descending again. That NV is above 11,000. Going to slow for the VNAV speed that they have told us to do there, even though I think that's quite wrong.
Thanks, traffic number 5, Mike, inbound 5 mile final, runway 19, right?
Using 19 right, I'm on the 2.6s. I think the ADA said either or. Yeah, 19 right or 2.6 left, so I'm choosing 19, or I'm choosing 2.6 left. Add a little bit more thrust. James says self-vectoring is the best vectoring. That's it. Maybe not mine, but you're going to restart the PC? I would restart after you've done a clean installation, yes. Yeah, no worries, Kellen. Hope you get that figured out. That sounds quite annoying. So we're approximately 10-7 to the west.
Mike, landing runway 19 right.
Vegas traffic, it's southwest 1333, approximately 7 miles to the west. We're going to be making basically a left downwind 26 left, approximately in 7 minutes from now. Okay, I'm going to go flap 1, which will help me maintain this. I don't like to be this close to that green dot speed. So we'll go flap 1. Doesn't like the thrust at idle, hear that? We go thrust idle, get the gear warning horn. And flap setting to 1, it's just the leading edge slats. That's all we've kind of really went ahead and did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go heading mode. And we're going to go down to 4,800. Light level change to 10. Idle thrust. Well, I guess I can't quite go idle because that's going to honk at me. I'll go a little bit above idle thrust. I'm going to go flaps 2. What do you use for flyby view? It's chase plane, and I have it set to the number 7, and it does a flyby view. Chase plane allows me to do that. Sean says, "Oh, we landing? Yeah, soon."
Around 19 right.
Is there supposed to be a dome in Las Vegas? There's supposed to be, but it's just there's a black circle there, sphere. Okay, restarting my PC. Haven't started up the sim yet, but everything is still blurry. That's super strange. Almost like you got like a filter or something turned on. I haven't seen that one before, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to sequence this FMS from large. The intercept course of... Oh, I didn't save the approach. Let's do this again. Approach. 26 left. We'll save it. $259. Oh, I can't even enter it. Yeah, it won't let me enter into the intercept course. Try 250. Okay, let's, I guess, go just direct large, I guess, and 259. No. Doesn't take intercept course. I'm going to say that's probably most likely a bug. Yeah, most airplanes can do that. Even the NG, RJ, they all can do that. So we're just going to delete everything here. We'll delete Preno. Okay, we're going to come left. Hear that rush of air? That's the air pressurization coming back online. It won't let you roll back. Yeah, I have no idea. I would look up blurry textures, new NVIDIA update, and just see what comes up with that. I honestly have no idea. We're going to turn direct shand, and I'll just go direct shand with this, as I can't put an intercept course in.
Mike. It's going to be 6,000 on a upwind for runway 26 left.
Vegas traffic and Southwest 1333 turning 12 mile final 26 left. Okay, heading mode isn't really heading moding anymore. We're just going to turn the autopilot off as it's not really working. And we'll do it ourselves. My autopilot button doesn't work either, so... There's a 30-degree bank. Go flap to 5 if I can here.
29 to type 737. We're at 110 on the downwind for runway 26 left. We'll call the left base.
I'm gonna get the alt horn. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Stay idle thrust here. And we're gonna click approach mode. Yeah, so I was giving it headings and it just wasn't turning. So we'll just do it myself. And we're gonna come back on this localizer. It's going to do that every time, isn't it? Until the gear is down. Vegas traffic, 1333, 13, correction, 7 mile final, 26 left. Vegas. I didn't do the landing in the calculation in the FMS, I just realized. They're giving us this approach speed of 130 is what they got going on there. Loc captured. Still waiting on the glide slope, but we'll be visual here soon. I can see the runway anyways. It's saying alt hold in the FMA, however the flight director is actually not commanding an alt hold. So that's also incorrect. It's acting like it's almost in a pitch mode. So we'll just manually fly this for now. Get back on that. There's the glide slope intersection. We'll go gear down. The Loc still is bringing us to the right. I still don't trust that flight director, so we're just going to throw those all off and we'll just use the raw data. And I can also just see outside. So quite a lot of bugs with that auto, or with the flight directors and autopilot setup. Giving it headings it won't turn to, all sorts of different stuff. So we'll just manually fly it in. And we're looking for an approach speed of 130. We'll go flaps 30. And we're all manually set up. We'll go speed brake arm. Let's go ahead and get my recording tool starting to record, which is a bit late for this. But yeah, in my opinion alone, this airplane needs a lot of work in terms of the autopilot, auto thrust system. Flight director said localizer captured. Now the localizer is centered, but before it was guiding me completely off. And Vegas traffic, Southwest 1333, short final 1, correction 26 left. Yep, correcting. Seems like the trim also does absolutely nothing.
50, 40, 30, 20.
November 5, Mike, Delta 249. 5 Mike, go ahead. Any chance we can squeeze in between you and this Southwest?
Oh, you know what? I pressed the brakes, but I forgot there's auto brakes.
Not sure if there'd be enough space for that to happen.
log recep heading not implemented. I don't know what that means. We'll go to the ground switch for the pressurization. We're going to exit here. I'll stop the recording there, although I don't know if I want to watch that one again. We got our tail across the line, and we'll call clear of the runway. Las Vegas traffic, Southwest 33 is clear all runways. We'll be holding short 26 right.
Vegas traffic, November 5, Mike, landing 26 left.
Okay, we'll bring it to a stop there. Whoa, lag. Okay, alright. And I'll leave the flaps where they were in the 30 position, and we'll just go off of VATSIM and we'll look at the replay. Many bugs encountered there, or me doing it wrong, which I doubt, but possible. The brakes do seem to work. But you can go, yeah, that was my fault there. Little floaty float. Put it on back down. But you can go in this back of the stream and see where it's not turning on headings. I'm telling it to. Auto thrust isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. VNAV not supposed to be doing what it's doing. It says localizer captured and the flight directors aren't guiding you towards that. The autopilot doesn't fly it. The glide slope, it says alt hold and the flight directors are showing a descent. So if you fly the flight directors, it basically kill you. A lot of problems that I see currently. Not bad for a third or fourth landing though. It was something gust in 25 or something like that. Not too bad. Oilers look pretty cool when they deploy, that's for sure. Yeah, it's kind of a fight the whole way down in this thing. Anyways, should you buy the airplane? I highly recommend spending $5 for the 5 months. See if you enjoy, or for the 1 month, sorry. See if you enjoy it, and if you do enjoy it, then purchase it. I think that they should not release this just yet, and I think they've chosen not to release this just yet because it's in a state of, well, not finished at all and quite unflyable in my opinion. If you're going to try to fly it like the actual airplane is intended to be flown, in terms of the flight director issues, the auto thrust issues, the VNAV issues, all that kind of stuff that I'm having. Again, could be my fault, but I doubt it. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. I'll give you some replays and we'll end the stream there.